The door thudded behind them, and the wind took their protests down toward the lake. For a moment, no one moved. Then Nana June drew a breath that sounded like a verdict delivered and set aside. "Now," she said, smoothing her coat sleeves. "Where were we?" The spell broke. Someone nudged the pianist. A hesitant chord became a melody. Glasses were refilled. Conversations restarted, quieter at first, then steadier, as if the lodge itself had exhaled. Owen stood very still beside me, processing the part where adults had finally said out loud what he'd felt on the porch. Nana crouched to his level. "Again, sweetheart," she said, tapping the card he'd taped to her teacup. "This is the finest decoration I've had in 82 years. It's a reindeer," he said solemnly, "but I made it with a dragon tail because dragons are brave." "Exactly right," she said. "Bravery is useful in this family." Safe squeezed my shoulder. "You okay?" he murmured. I nodded. The shaking inside me wasn't fear. It was release. Dinner resumed, but nothing about it felt the same. Grant's empty chair yawned near the hearth. My father's place setting remained untouched, his napkin folded with stiff precision, as if he might materialize to claim it. He didn't. Instead, Aunt Leela shifted down the table to close the gap. Uncle Tom poured wine for the cousins. The Georgian silver service recovered earlier that week, Nana later explained, when she'd followed a hunch and a bank statement gleamed under candlelight. It hadn't left the property after all. Nana had paid the pawn ticket quietly and said nothing. "I wanted to see who would confess," she told me later. Silence can be very instructive. After dessert, when plates were stacked and the fire burned low and amber, Nana motioned for me to follow her into the library. The room smelled like leather and pine sap. Snow tapped softly against the tall windows. She closed the door but didn't sit behind the desk. Instead, she stood beside me at the window, shoulder to shoulder. "I should have seen it sooner," she said. "The way Celeste sharpened you into a rival instead of raising you as a daughter." "You gave her chances," I said. "I gave her trust," Nana corrected. "Those are not the same." She turned to me fully then, eyes bright and unflinching. "This lodge is wood and stone. It's not a prize. It's a responsibility. It's jobs for the kitchen staff. It's scholarships we fund every spring. It's a place people come when they need something steady." "I know," I said quietly. "Do you want it?" The question landed heavier than any declaration about wills. I thought about the porch, about Owen's damp mittens, about the way my mother's voice had clipped each word like trimming a hedge too close to the root. I thought about Nana kneeling in the snow without hesitation. "Yes," I said, "but not to win." "Good," she said. "Winning is for card tables. This is about keeping doors open." When we returned to the great room, Owen had commandeered the corner near the tree. He'd gathered the younger cousins and was instructing them on dragon-tailed reindeer anatomy. Rafe was helping untangle lights someone had kicked loose in the commotion. It felt fragile, but real. Around 10, the first guests began to bundle up. Apologies brushed my cheek as they hugged me goodbye. "I had no idea," Aunt Leela whispered. "You shouldn't have had to stand out there. You didn't deserve." I stopped them gently. "We're here now," I said, and that was enough. By midnight, only a handful of us remained. Nana insisted Owen help her carry a tray of cocoa to the porch. The lake lay black and vast, the ice near shore glittering under moonlight. The same wind that had stung my face earlier now felt almost ceremonial. "See?" Nana said softly to Owen. "Plenty of capacity." He grinned up at her, gap-toothed and restored. Later, when Rafe and I tucked him into one of the upstairs guest rooms, the ones that always smelled faintly of cedar, he clutched his dragon reindeer card stub. "Grandma doesn't hate me," he said, not asking this time. "No," I said, "she doesn't." He studied me. "Are we still family?" The question was too big for a 6-year-old, and yet there it was. "We're family," I said carefully, "but sometimes we choose how close we stand to the fire." He seemed satisfied with that. Sleep took him mid-thought. Downstairs, Nana sat alone at the long dining table, the silver polished to mirror brightness. "You did the right thing," I told her. She shook her head faintly. "I did the necessary thing." "There's a difference." "What happens tomorrow?" I asked. "My attorney comes at 10. Papers are signed. She reached across the table and covered my hand with hers. Celeste will say I was manipulated. Grant will say I overreacted. Dean will say nothing at all. Let them. I swallowed. They'll hate me, perhaps, she said, but they've been comfortable with you hurting. I prefer they be uncomfortable instead. A log collapsed in the fireplace with a soft roar. Will you stay tonight? She asked. Yes. Good. In the morning, we'll make pancakes with blueberries, the good kind. I laughed, startled by the ordinariness of it. Upstairs, the house creaked and settled around us, not as a fortress, not as a battleground, as something reclaimed. The next morning, snow fell in quiet sheets, softening the footprints on the drive. The porch camera still mounted above the door blinked its small red light, recording nothing but white. Inside, the kitchen filled with the scent of butter and sugar. Owen stood on a chair beside Nana, solemnly in charge of sprinkling berries. Rafe leaned against the counter, watching us with that steady expression he wore when he knew a chapter had turned. My phone buzzed once. Dad! I stared at the screen. Rafe met my eyes. You don't have to. I let it go to voicemail, because this flower on Owen's cheek, Nana's silver hair haloed by morning light, warmth that did not cost my son a single tear. This was the math I was choosing now. Later, when the pancakes were stacked high and syrup ran in golden rivers, Nana lifted her mug. To open doors, she said. Owen raised his cocoa in imitation. And dragons, he added. We clinked porcelain. Outside, the lodge stood steady against the winter, lanterns unlit in daylight but ready. And this time, if anyone came to the door, they would find it unlocked.